The night sky was quieter than usual, almost empty, except for the faint hum of machines in the observatory. Dr. Elena Rivera leaned closer to the telescope screen, her eyes narrowing. Something unusual had appeared. At first, she thought it was a glitch, another false alarm in a career full of them. But the signal pulsed again, steady and repeating, from a star system more than 1,000 light-years away. This doesn't make sense, she whispered. The digits on the screen blinked in patterns too complex to be random. Every scientist in her field had dreamed of this moment, the unmistakable evidence that someone, or something, was reaching out. Humanity was listening. And now, the universe was answering back. Elena called in her team immediately. Commander Jason Hall, a veteran astronaut with a cautious mind, arrived first. Another false signal, he asked, though the tight line of his jaw suggested he didn't truly believe it. No, Elena said. Her voice was trembling with excitement. This is real. And it's intelligent. Across the room, Dr. Ravi Singh, a young scientist whose obsession with first contact often annoyed everyone around him, leaned over the screen. It's structured. It repeats in patterns that are too precise. It's alive, almost. Jason frowned. Signals can't be alive, Ravi. They're just waves. Radio waves. Not this one, Ravi said sharply. Look at the timing. It adapts. Every time we try to analyze it, it changes slightly, like it knows what we're doing. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. She knew he was right. Something out there was watching or testing humanity. The news spread like wildfire. Governments and space agencies argued over how to respond. Some wanted to send a fleet to destroy the source before it reached Earth. Others wanted to study it from a safe distance. But the human instinct for curiosity was stronger than fear. They couldn't resist. A special mission was approved. A team would travel to the origin of the signal, no matter the risks. And so, a ship was prepared, equipped with the most advanced technology humanity had ever built. Jason Hall was selected to lead it. Elena would serve as chief scientist. Ravi, as the signal analyst. Together with a small team of astronauts and engineers, they were about to cross the threshold of the unknown. The launch was calm, almost eerily so. The world watched on screens as the ship, named Odyssey, tore through the sky and into space. Inside, the crew tried to keep their nerves in check, but the tension was palpable. Every hum of the engines, every blink of a warning light seemed louder than usual. Days passed. Weeks. The farther they traveled, the stranger the universe became. Stars flickered in ways that did not follow normal physics. Cosmic radiation seemed to bend around the ship, as if aware of their presence. At night, when the crew tried to rest, the signal pulsed faintly through their communication systems. It was not just a sound, it was a presence. One evening, Jason stood by the observation window, staring at the endless darkness. "Do you ever wonder," he said quietly, "if we made a mistake by coming here?" Elena looked at him, her eyes reflecting the distant stars. "We can't turn back now. Curiosity brought us this far. Maybe it's dangerous, maybe it's beautiful, but it's ours to face." Ravi interrupted, voice tight. "It's responding to us now. The pattern, it's like it's learning. Every time we send a message, it changes. And sometimes, it seems angry." "Angry?" Jason asked. Ravi nodded, hesitation in his voice. "Not like humans. Something else. Something older." The tension inside the ship grew. Every crew member felt it, the sense of being watched, of being tested. No one spoke about it, but no one could ignore it. The signal was more than a message, it was a living enigma. Then, one night, the calm shattered. The ship's sensors screamed warnings in a chorus of alarms. Lights flickered, consoles glowed red, and the hum of engines shifted into an irregular vibration. The crew rushed to their stations, heartbeats racing. "What is happening?" Jason shouted over the noise. Elena's hands flew over the controls. "I don't know. The signal, It's surrounding us. It's in the ship. I can feel it in the systems. Ravi stared at the screen, frozen. It's trying to communicate, in real time. But it's not human. It's not language. It's something else. A bright flash filled the observation window. Stars warped into impossible shapes, colors that should not exist bleeding into the void. The ship shook violently, tossing crew members across the cabin. Jason barely held onto the railing, shouting commands as alarms blared. Then, as suddenly as it began, the chaos stopped. The stars returned to normal, or what passed for normal in deep space. The Odyssey floated silently, untouched, but the crew was shaken to their core. Elena exhaled shakily. "It's waiting for us," she whispered. "We've crossed its threshold. And now, it knows we are here." Jason clenched his jaw. "Then we keep going. No matter what it is." The crew looked out into the infinite darkness, knowing that the next step could be the greatest discovery in human history, or the final mistake humanity would ever make. The signal pulsed once more, like a heartbeat. And somewhere, far beyond their reach, a presence observed. Patient. Intelligent. Waiting. And humanity had answered. The Odyssey drifted deeper into the void, leaving the familiar warmth of the solar system behind. Every day, the signal pulsed stronger, clearer, like a heartbeat calling them onward. The crew moved through the ship with quiet tension. No one spoke much. The hum of the engines and the distant stars were all they had for company. Jason Hall stood in the observation deck, hands clasped behind his back. The stars stretched infinitely, their light bending strangely, as if the universe itself was warping around them. "We're not in familiar space anymore," he muttered to no one. Elena Rivera joined him, eyes wide with awe. "It's beautiful, but wrong. Look at the stars, they don't obey the physics we know. Time, light, everything is distorted." Ravi Singh, standing nearby with a tablet in his hands, didn't respond. His attention was locked on the signal. "It's guiding us," he said finally. "Every anomaly, every strange pattern in space, it's intentional. Someone, or something, is shaping the path for us." Jason frowned. "Or leading us into a trap." The weeks passed. Food, water, and air were stable, but the crew's nerves frayed. Sleep became difficult. The signal seemed to echo in their minds at night, a soft vibration behind their thoughts. Dreams blurred with reality. Some swore they saw shapes moving in the darkness outside the ship. Shadows that shouldn't exist in the emptiness of space. Then came the first real warning. Ravi called everyone to the control room. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a screen filled with readings. "The signal, it's reacting to the ship's trajectory. Every time we adjust course, it changes in real time. It's alive, Jason. I warned you." Jason's jaw tightened. Alive, or sentient? There's a difference. It may just be a complex AI. Something ancient, yes, but not thinking. Elena's fingers flew over the controls, scanning every detail. "I don't care what it is. It's more powerful than anything we've ever seen. It can manipulate space around us. It can make stars shift, warp radiation, maybe even bend reality itself. We need to be careful." 4 days, the anomalies increased. The Odyssey passed through a nebula that shouldn't exist, a cloud of colors that shimmered like oil on water, massive, alive with strange electrical storms. As they entered, the ship's instruments went wild. Readings jumped, engines stuttered, and the very fabric of space seemed to stretch around them. "Brace yourselves," Jason shouted as the ship lurched violently. Crew members grabbed rails and straps as the Odyssey twisted in ways no human vessel was meant to survive. Ravi's eyes were wide, staring at the tablet. "It's communicating with us. Not with words, not with sound. It's directly into our minds. I can feel it, probing, testing." Elena gritted her teeth. "It's not evil, but it's curious. Like it's trying to see what we're capable of." Then, in a sudden flash, a massive shape appeared outside the ship. It was unlike anything human eyes had seen. Gigantic, geometric, impossible to comprehend fully, it hovered in the void, perfectly still. Lights pulsed across its surface, synchronized with the signal. It was alive, or at least aware. Jason swallowed hard. "We made contact," he whispered. "Whatever it is, it's waiting for us to move." The crew gathered, trembling. Ravi tried to send a signal back, but his voice shook. "It's reading us. Every attempt we make to communicate, it adapts instantly. I don't think we're just visitors. I think we're participants." Days turned into tense nights. Each crew member wrestled with fear and curiosity. Some had started whispering about the impossible shape outside, the Watcher, as they called it privately. They speculated if it was a machine, a creature, or something older than time itself. Jason tried to maintain order. "Focus on what we can control. Navigation, life support, research. We cannot panic." But control was slipping. Instruments flickered. Gravity in parts of the ship seemed uneven. Shadows moved without source. At one point, a crew member screamed, claiming she saw figures walking through walls. When Jason ran to her, there was nothing. Elena studied the signal more than ever. "It's not hostile, yet. But it's teaching us something. Testing us. How far we'll go, how far humanity will risk." Then, an unexpected event, a massive burst of light erupted from the Watcher, and the ship was hurled through space, faster than anything human technology should allow. Stars streaked into lines, and the crew clutched for dear life. In the chaos, Ravi's voice came over the comms, trembling. We're moving into a different dimension, or time. I can't tell. Everything is wrong. Everything is beautiful." The Odyssey emerged into calm. Stars returned to their normal shapes, colors, and distances. The crew looked at each other, shaken but alive. Outside, the Watcher hovered silently, observing. Jason exhaled. "Whatever that was, it's letting us continue. For now." Elena shivered. "It's preparing us for something. Something beyond our imagination. And soon, we'll know what it wants." The signal pulsed once more, steady and rhythmic. Like a heartbeat, reminding them that humanity had entered a game far older than Earth, far deeper than space. And somewhere, beyond the veil of stars, the Watcher waited patiently, knowing that the next step could change humanity forever, or destroy it. The Odyssey drifted closer to the source of the signal, the Watcher looming silently in the void outside. Each crew member felt the weight of the unknown pressing on them. Stars flickered in strange patterns as they approached what could only be called an alien structure. Vast, impossible, and utterly silent. Elena Rivera stared at the screen, unable to find words. "It's huge. Nothing like anything we've ever built, or imagined. The scale, it doesn't obey physics. It's wrong, in the best way." Jason Hall felt a chill crawl up his spine. "Wrong how? Explain." She shook her head. "The angles, the edges, even the shadows, they don't behave like normal light. It's like it's alive. Watching us." Ravi Singh's fingers flew across his console. "The signal is stronger here than ever. I think it's coming from this structure. Whatever is inside, it's aware we're here. And it's waiting." The crew prepared to board a smaller craft. The Odyssey could not safely enter the structure's gravitational field, so a shuttle was their only option. As they suited up, tension tightened like a rope around their chests. No one spoke much. Words felt unnecessary. Everyone knew what awaited them. The shuttle detached and glided silently toward the monolithic structure. Its surface shimmered in colors that should not exist, edges bending in ways human minds could barely comprehend. Jason gripped the controls, focusing on the approach. "We need to be precise. One wrong move and none of us are going to see Earth again." The shuttle landed, or perhaps merged, with the structure. It was impossible to tell where the floor ended and the walls began. Shapes shifted subtly when they looked away, and each step forward seemed longer than the last. "This isn't just a building," Ravi whispered. "It's a machine, a mind, maybe a library. But it's conscious. I can feel it thinking about us." Elena's eyes darted to a doorway, or something resembling one. "We need to document everything. No assumptions, no rash moves." The first room they entered was vast, stretching beyond what the eye could see. Floating lights hovered without source, illuminating strange glyphs etched into the walls. The air was breathable, temperature perfect, yet it felt unnatural. Almost like the structure was anticipating their needs. Jason motioned for caution. "Stay close. Watch each other. Nothing touches anything unless we're sure it's safe." As they explored, the structure seemed to react. Doors opened ahead of them, corridors shifted, and sometimes the same chamber appeared twice, or maybe it was different, but their minds couldn't tell. Shadows moved, and sometimes whispers echoed, soft, melodic, incomprehensible. Then came the first real warning. A doorway ahead pulsed with a strange light. As they approached, a sound filled their minds, not their ears. Elena felt it like a vibration in her skull. "It's a message. Or a test. Something is assessing us. I can feel it probing our thoughts, our intentions." Jason's hand hovered over his sidearm, though he knew it wouldn't help. "Probing us how?" "Mentally." Ravi swallowed hard. "Not just mentally. Emotionally. Morally. It knows what we feel, what we fear. And it's judging us." The tension grew unbearable. Every step forward felt like stepping into a trap. The crew moved as one, silent and wary. And then, the first crew member vanished. Maria, the engineer, had been examining a floating console. One moment she was there, the next, gone. The others spun around, alarms silent in their throats. "Maria!" Jason shouted, but no sound came from the walls. No movement. Only the pulsing light, steady and indifferent. Elena felt panic claw at her chest. It didn't hurt her. Not yet. But it took her. And it wants us to know it can. Ravi's face was pale. "It's testing boundaries. Seeing if we panic, if we obey, if we trust it, or each other." Jason clenched his jaw. "We stick together. We proceed. One step at a time. We find Maria, and we find out what this thing really is." They advanced slowly, the structure shifting around them. Rooms seemed endless, corridors folding into themselves. Strange glyphs glowed faintly as they passed, like welcoming lights or warnings. Elena paused before a massive chamber. Inside floated an object, or perhaps a being. It was massive, crystalline, and seemed semi-transparent. Shapes moved inside it, like currents of light and shadow, impossible to define. The signal pulsed from it, stronger than ever, sending ripples through the shuttle's instruments and through their minds. Jason stepped forward. This is it. The source of the signal. Whatever it is, it's alive, and it's waiting. Ravi whispered, voice trembling. "It's beautiful, and terrifying. It's smarter than us. Older than us. Maybe older than the stars." Elena reached out a hand, but Jason grabbed her wrist. "Don't. We don't know what touching it means. We don't know what it wants." A sudden vibration ran through the chamber, like the pulse of a heartbeat. The air shimmered, and the glyphs glowed brighter. Then, almost as if speaking without words, the structure communicated. A vision flooded their minds, stars forming and collapsing, civilizations rising and falling, choices that led to creation and destruction. Elena staggered back. "It's showing us everything. Our potential, our dangers. Humanity. It's judging us." Jason's face was grim. "Then we have to show it who we are. Not just as explorers but as humans. Strong, curious, resilient. It won't respect fear or hesitation." Ravi shivered. I think it's asking if we're worthy. And in that moment, the crew understood. The journey had only begun. The Watcher, the signal, the structure, they were not merely mysteries to be solved. They were challenges, tests of humanity itself. Somewhere, deep inside the alien intelligence, a decision was forming. And the next choice the humans made could decide not just their fate, but the fate of Earth. The chamber pulsed with light, each beat like the heartbeat of the Watcher itself. The crew stood in tense silence, knowing that every thought, every fear, was being observed. The alien structure was not just a place, it was a living mind, ancient, patient, and impossibly intelligent. Elena Rivera took a deep breath. It's giving us a choice, she whispered, barely audible. We can take the knowledge, the technology it's offering, but we might not survive the consequences. Or we can leave, walk away while we still can. Jason Hall's jaw tightened. We can't walk away. Humanity didn't come this far to run from something we don't understand. We face it. We survive it. That's what humans do. Ravi Singh shook his head, voice trembling. Do you even hear yourself? We don't know what we're dealing with. This isn't just a machine. It's testing us, watching us. If we take the knowledge without understanding it, we could destroy ourselves. Or worse, it could destroy us. Elena stepped closer to the crystalline form that pulsed like a star. Waves of energy radiated outward, touching the minds of the crew, stirring memories, hopes, and fears. Images flickered in her mind, cities in flames, stars dying, but also inventions and civilizations thriving beyond imagination. The alien intelligence showed humanity's potential, and its fragility. Jason's hand hovered over the panel controlling the shuttle's connection to the structure. We need to make a decision. Do we take it? Or do we leave? Time is moving differently here. We can't stay forever. Ravi pointed at the pulsing object. It's communicating directly with us. Not words, not sound, but choices. It's asking who we are, what we want, and whether we're ready to wield power that could either save or destroy humanity. Elena's eyes narrowed. We can't take it lightly. This isn't just curiosity or ambition. This is responsibility. One wrong decision, and we could end everything. The crew split into silent groups, each member wrestling with doubt and hope. Maria, who had reappeared mysteriously after vanishing in Part 3, spoke first. I've seen what it can do. I felt it when it touched my mind. It's beautiful, but it's dangerous. If we try to use it for power, we'll destroy ourselves. Jason clenched his fists. We're explorers. Humanity thrives on risk. We survive because we don't give up. We can't let fear stop us now. Ravi's face was pale. It's not fear. It's wisdom. We've seen what happens when humans take power they can't understand. Wars, destruction, extinction. We're standing on the edge of the same cliff, and we might not even know it. The alien structure pulsed again, faster now, like it was urging them to decide. The choice was theirs, but the weight of it pressed on every mind. Take the knowledge, risk annihilation. Leave, preserve life, but abandon the chance to advance beyond imagination. Elena stepped forward, voice steady. We have to think as humans, not as individuals. What would humanity do? What should humanity do? Jason looked at each crew member. We didn't come this far to fail without trying. But we need a plan. We can't just take the knowledge blindly. We study it, understand it, then decide how to use it. Cautiously. Ravi shook his head. Cautiously? There's no guarantee the structure will allow that. It doesn't work like we do. It gives power, or it takes it away. And we might not survive the attempt. Maria added quietly, then we have to be smart. Trust each other. Humanity is clever, resilient. Maybe that's what it's testing, our unity, our intelligence, our morality. The chamber pulsed louder, the energy vibrating through the floors and walls. The vision in Elena's mind intensified. She saw Earth, fragile and small, floating in the void. Humans on the planet, fighting, exploring, inventing. Then she saw what could happen if they took the alien knowledge blindly. Fire, destruction, chaos. But she also saw humans rising beyond their limits, creating wonders, reaching the stars with new understanding. Jason exhaled, his decision made. Then that's what we do. We proceed, but carefully. Step by step. We study it. We learn. We make sure humanity survives and thrives. We prove we are worthy. Ravi hesitated, then nodded. It's a risk. But maybe it's the only chance we'll ever have to show what humans are capable of. Courage, curiosity, intelligence. Maybe it wants to see if we can rise above ourselves. Elena reached out, touching the crystalline form. Just a hand close enough to feel the pulse, not to take it. Energy flowed through her, visions flashing faster than thought. Knowledge, warnings, possibilities. The Watcher was alive in every pulse. It observed. It tested. And it waited for humanity to prove itself. The crew felt it collectively, a connection not of wires or signals, but of minds, of purpose. The choice was no longer abstract. It was real, immediate, pressing. Every human instinct, fear, courage, curiosity, was magnified. Jason spoke quietly, as if to himself. We're here. We're human. And we won't fail. The chamber pulsed once more, a final rhythm. The Watcher seemed to accept their choice. Humanity would take the knowledge, but on its own terms. Carefully. Respectfully. With courage. And somewhere, deep in the alien intelligence, a new understanding formed. Humans were dangerous, yes, but extraordinary. Perhaps worthy. Perhaps unstoppable. The next steps would test them further. Not just their skills, but their hearts, minds, and the very essence of what it meant to be human. And in the darkness beyond the crystalline walls, the Watcher waited, patient, ancient, and knowing that the true trial had only just begun. The Odyssey hung in the alien structure's shadow, still trembling from the last pulse of energy. The crew's hearts raced, but Jason Hall kept his focus sharp. Humanity had made its choice, to study, to understand, to prove themselves worthy. But proving themselves was proving harder than anyone imagined. Elena Rivera leaned over the controls, analyzing the streams of energy flowing from the crystalline form. It's giving us patterns, she said, her voice tense. Instructions, maybe, but they're incomplete. We have to decipher them carefully. One mistake could be catastrophic. Ravi Singh's fingers flew over his console. I've never seen anything like this. It's like the structure speaks in math, light, and emotion all at once. If we misread even a single sequence, his voice trailed off. Jason's eyes hardened. Then we don't misread it. Focus. Humanity is known for surviving impossible odds. We can do this. The crew split into teams, each studying a part of the alien pattern. At first, progress was slow, frustrating. The alien knowledge was immense, far beyond any human understanding. But little by little, systems began to respond to their input. Lights shifted, energy flowed, and machinery, not human machinery, activated in the structure. Then the first real danger struck. A pulse of energy burst from the crystalline form, striking the shuttle. Alarms screamed. The deck shook violently, throwing crew members across the cabin. Jason struggled to keep control. Everyone hold on. Brace for impact. Elena's console flickered. It's testing us. Not just our intelligence, our courage, our reflexes. It wants to see if we can respond under pressure. Ravi gasped. Or it's punishing us. We're meddling with something far older than humanity. We don't know what this could do. Jason's gaze swept over the team. Then we respond. That's what humans do. We fight. We adapt. We survive. They worked together, instinct guiding intellect. Every crew member pushed themselves beyond limits. Systems stabilized, the energy pulses slowed, and the ship's internal gravity returned to normal. Slowly, the structure seemed to recognize their success. The crystalline form pulsed rhythmically again, almost approvingly. But the Watcher was not done. The next sequence of energy patterns activated a part of the structure that none of them had seen before. Rooms shifted violently. Corridors folded in on themselves. The crew barely managed to avoid walls that weren't walls, floors that weren't floors. Shadows moved across surfaces in impossible ways, as if the structure itself was alive, aware of every step. Maria screamed as a wall of shimmering light approached, almost solid, almost lethal. Jason grabbed her and pulled her back. "Stay close. Move with me." Elena's hands flew over the control panels, trying to stabilize the sequence. "If we miscalculate now, we won't survive." Ravi shouted. "We're too slow. The energy is unpredictable." In the chaos, the team realized something terrifying. The structure was not just testing them, it was teaching them in real time. Each dangerous pulse, each shifting corridor, was part of a lesson. Humanity had to adapt, innovate, and survive using intelligence, courage, and unity. Hours passed, or maybe days. Time no longer behaved normally in the alien structure. Exhaustion gnawed at them. Minds strained under the constant pressure, but step by step, they learned, adapted, and overcame. Finally, the crystalline form stabilized. A single pulse resonated through the ship, calm and steady. The shadows faded. The corridors returned to a form they could comprehend. The energy streams now flowed like rivers, illuminating the vast interior of the structure with serene light. Jason exhaled, voice hoarse. "We did it. We survived. We adapted. We proved ourselves." Elena, leaning against a console, shook her head in disbelief. "It wasn't easy. We were tested in every way. Intellectually, morally, physically, even emotionally. But we passed. Or at least, we survived the test." Ravi, still trembling, looked at the crystalline form. "It's teaching us. Preparing us. I think it's giving humanity a chance to rise. To show it can handle knowledge and power responsibly." Jason nodded. "That's what we are. Humans. Curious, daring, resilient. We survive because we adapt. We learn. And we never give up, even against impossible odds." A soft hum filled the chamber, almost like a sigh of approval. The Watcher had not just observed, they had participated. Humanity had proven something fundamental, that even against incomprehensible forces, they could think, act, and survive. But Jason knew the work was far from over. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "The knowledge we gained, the tests we survived, it's a start. But humanity has a long road ahead. We must be careful. We must be wise. We must remain worthy." Elena looked at him, determination in her eyes. "We'll study it, understand it, and we'll bring it back to Earth. Humanity will rise, stronger and wiser. This is what we were meant for." Ravi finally smiled, exhaustion and relief washing over him. "Then we continue. Not just to survive but to thrive. To prove that humanity is capable of greatness, even among the stars." As the Odyssey prepared to leave the alien structure, the Watcher pulsed one final time. The energy radiated outward, touching the ship, the crew, and perhaps even their minds in ways they could not yet understand. A silent message passed through them. "You are human. You have survived. Now, show us what you can become." And as the ship drifted back toward the unknown void, humanity carried with it not just knowledge, but hope, courage, and the certainty that no challenge, no matter how vast, could ever break their spirit. The Odyssey drifted silently through space, leaving the alien structure behind. The Watcher remained in the distance, a faint pulse in the void, as if acknowledging humanity's triumph, but also reminding them that this was only the beginning. Inside the ship, the crew was quiet. Exhaustion weighed on them, but so did awe. The knowledge they had witnessed, the patterns, the energy flows, the lessons embedded in the crystalline form, was beyond anything Earth had ever known. Humanity had survived a trial that no human mind had ever faced before. And yet, they had more questions than answers. Jason Hall stared at the observation window. We've done it. We survived. But what now? How do we explain this to Earth without it breaking everything? Elena Rivera rubbed her temples. We document everything. Step by step. We can't give people power they aren't ready for. But we can guide them. Humanity can rise, but carefully. Thoughtfully. Ravi Singh finally smiled, a rare moment of peace. I think the Watcher wanted to see if we could handle the responsibility. We weren't just surviving its tests. We were proving that humans, as a species, can rise to the challenge. That curiosity and courage aren't weaknesses, they're our strength. Maria, the engineer, leaned back in her seat, still shaken from the chaotic energy pulses. I saw what could happen if we failed. I saw fire, destruction, civilizations erased. And I saw the opposite: growth, exploration, wonder. It's terrifying, but beautiful. And we chose the right path. Jason's jaw tightened. This changes everything. Not just our mission, not just our understanding of the universe, but everything humans thought they knew about life, space, and themselves. The crew spent days studying what they could of the alien technology from a safe distance. They recorded every pulse, every sequence, every lesson the Watcher had left behind. Slowly, the patterns began to make sense. Humans were learning to think beyond instinct, beyond fear, beyond survival. They were learning to become something greater. But the true test was not over. As they transmitted data back to Earth, Elena realized that the Watcher's influence had reached farther than the structure. Subtle signals were now embedded in space itself, invisible, almost imperceptible. Humanity had been marked, chosen, and observed. Jason frowned. You mean we're being watched? Elena nodded. Yes. Not in a threatening way. But to see how humanity uses what we've learned. If we use it wisely, we grow. If not, the consequences could be unimaginable. Ravi shook his head, awe and fear in equal measure. So, this is just the beginning. Not the end. Humanity has survived the trial, but the universe will continue testing us. And we'll have to be ready. The ship continued its journey home, gliding past stars and nebulae that now seemed familiar, yet more mysterious than ever. Each crew member felt the weight of responsibility. They had not just survived, they had become ambassadors of humanity's potential. Jason turned to the team. We proved something important out there. We proved that humans can face the impossible and survive. But survival alone isn't enough. We have to rise. We have to use what we've learned to grow, to explore, to protect our species and our planet. Elena smiled faintly. And maybe, someday, we'll return to the Watcher. Not as students, but as equals. To explore further, to understand more, to see what humanity can truly become. Ravi nodded. The universe is vast, more than we can imagine. But now, we have a chance. A chance to reach beyond ourselves. To show that humanity is not just a fragile species clinging to a planet, but a force capable of greatness. Maria, quiet until now, spoke softly. We'll have to teach the next generations carefully. They'll inherit more than knowledge, they'll inherit responsibility. If we fail to guide them, all we gained could be lost. Jason's gaze drifted to Earth in the distance, blue and fragile, floating in the void. It's a small planet, but it belongs to a species that refuses to give up. That refuses to stop exploring. That faces the unknown without fear. That's humanity. The Watcher's pulse echoed faintly in their minds one last time, almost like a heartbeat fading into the distance. A silent acknowledgement of what humans had achieved, and a subtle warning that the universe had far more in store. And so, the odyssey continued toward home. The crew carried with them not just alien knowledge, but hope, courage, and the certainty that humanity could rise to meet any challenge, survive any trial, and thrive among the stars. As the stars streaked past the observation window, Jason whispered, almost to himself, "We've survived the impossible. We've faced the unknown. And we'll keep going, because we are human. And nothing, not even the universe, can stop us." The pulse faded completely, leaving silence. But within the silence, humanity's future shone brighter than any star. Somewhere, deep in the cosmos, the Watcher waited again. And humanity, forever changed, was ready for whatever came next.